What do Shakespeare and hip-hop artists have in common? Well, they both love a good feud. In the grand arena of modern pop culture, few scenes churn out as much drama as the hip-hop industry. From the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to the more contemporary clashes, rap beefs are like the reality TV shows of the music world, only with better rhyme schemes. Hip-hop hasn't just stayed in its lane, it's swerved into every aspect of popular culture, from fashion to politics, making its influence undeniable. Artists like Drake and Kendrick Lamar aren't just musicians. They're cultural icons, shaping not just music, but also trends and opinions. Their words wield power, enough to start a party or a fight. And speaking of fights, let's dive into one of the most talked about tiffs of the past decade. Yes, it's Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, a lyrical showdown that's had fans buzzing, tweeting, and debating in every corner of the internet. Buckle up, this is going to be a bumpy, beat-laden ride. It all began back in the good old days of 2013. Kendrick Lamar, in a bold move, called out several rappers in his verse on Big Sean's Control. He name-dropped Drake among others, not to diss but to challenge them to step up their game. It was a call to arms, or rather a call to pens and mics, and it set the hip-hop world ablaze. Drake, not one to shy away from a challenge, responded not just in interviews, expressing his displeasure, but also through subtle jabs in his tracks. The rap world watched with popcorn in hand as these two lyrical titans prepared for battle. It was like the hip-hop version of Godzilla vs. King Kong, only with more metaphors and less city destruction. The back and forth continued with each artist dropping hints and lines in their songs and performances. Fans dissected every verse and tweet for hidden meanings, turning the feud into a spectator sport. Was it personal? Was it just for show? The lines blurred, but the entertainment value skyrocketed. Let's get into the meat of the beef, the lyrics. Kendrick's verse in Control is famously aggressive, calling himself the king of New York and staking his claim as one of the best in the game. It wasn't a diss per se, but it was a gauntlet thrown down at the feet of his peers, including Drake, who has never been one to let a challenge go unanswered. Drake's responses were less direct, but equally intriguing. In tracks like The Language, he seems to address Kendrick with lines that suggest no one is quite on his level. He talks about his success and how it speaks for itself, implying that he doesn't need to name-drop to prove his worth. It was a masterclass in subtlety and swagger. Kendrick didn't back down either. In his performances and subsequent tracks, he continued to assert his dominance in the rap game, pushing the narrative that he was not only a participant, but a leader. This lyrical tug-of-war pulled in fans and fellow artists alike, each line being analyzed for deeper meanings and possible retorts. In the age of social media, everyone's a critic or a commentator. The Drake vs. Kendrick saga was no exception, with fans flooding Twitter, Instagram, and other platforms to pledge their allegiance or just to grab some popcorn and watch the drama unfold. Memes flourished, GIFs galore. The internet was having a field day. Celebrities weren't far behind. Other artists chimed in, some choosing sides, others just enjoying the competition. Figures like J. Cole and Big Sean, who've collaborated with both Drake and Kendrick, offered more diplomatic responses, emphasizing the positive impact of competition on the art form. It was like watching the cool kids at school navigate a spicy rumor. And let's not forget the media. Every new song, every slight hint dropped at concerts was dissected by music critics and gossip columns alike. The feud might have been between two individuals, but it expanded to involve the entire industry, each player adding their own spice to the stew. What happens when two giants in the music industry clash? You get ripples, waves, even tsunamis of change. The Drake vs. Kendrick feud not only entertained, it inspired. Young rappers saw the value in lyrical dexterity and the power of narrative, pushing them to improve their own craft. This feud also highlighted the importance of competition in hip-hop. It's not just about diss tracks and one-upmanship. It's about pushing the envelope, striving to be better, and thereby pushing peers to elevate their game as well. In a way, the feud was a masterclass for any upcoming artist on how to maintain relevance and respect. Moreover, it changed how artists interacted with their audience. Both Kendrick and Drake used their platforms to engage with fans directly, making each song release an event of its own. This direct line not only amplified their messages, but also solidified their places in the hearts and playlists of listeners worldwide. So, after all the bars thrown, tweets sent, and memes made, what has this epic rap beef taught us about the music industry? First, it's clear that feuds, whether genuine or for show, can be significant marketing tools. They keep the public engaged, the artists relevant, and the streams flowing. It also speaks volumes about the evolving nature of rap as a genre. Feuds like these encourage diversity in style and thought. fostering a culture where challenge and competition are seen not as threats, but as catalysts for innovation. This dynamic keeps the genre fresh and exciting. Lastly, this feud underlines the importance of narrative in music. Fans aren't just interested in beats and rhymes. They're captivated by stories, personas, and the drama that unfolds both on and off the stage. It's a reminder that in the world of music, sometimes the backstory is just as important as the sound. In conclusion, whether you're Team Drake or Team Kendrick, it's hard to deny the impact their feud has had on the music industry and on us, the listeners. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, opinions, and most importantly, incredible music. While the dust seems to have settled for now, the legacy of this lyrical battle will resonate for years to come. So as we enjoy the latest tracks from these artists, let's remember the excitement their rivalry brought into our lives. After all, isn't that what music is all about? Feeling, reacting, discussing, and above all, enjoying the beat. Here's to more beats, more bars, and yes, maybe even more beefs, because as long as it's driving creativity, it's all in good fun.